What is good, YouTube? Welcome back to MKE MANIACI, and today I'm going to be giving you guys my top 10 Money in the Bank cash-ins, man. So over the last 20 years of Money in the Bank, it's been 20 years. It's crazy. I remember when they first announced a Money in the Bank ladder match. It's been 20 years. 20 years, but we had some great moments, some great cash-in attempts, some great successful ones, and there's been some failures. But in this one, my top 10 list, these are all successful cash-ins, man. So y'all please chime in your thoughts on some of your favorite Money in the Bank cash-in moments. So without further ado, let's just get right to it, man. So I'm going to start with number 10. I got SummerSlam 2023 Io Sky cashing in at that event, man. So it might be a little bit of bias right here for me because I was in attendance for SummerSlam Detroit. And regardless of what everybody's saying online, regardless of what you see on TV, it was loud in Ford Field when Io Sky came out to cash in. Oh, it was loud. It was very loud. And this was just a great crowning moment for Io Sky. You know, she had just, Damage Control was still fairly new at this point. I believe it was like a year into Damage Control, but her being able to do this, and especially you're in a match with Charlotte and Bianca. Like, listen, this right here, this was a great moment for Io Sky, and clearly today Io Sky is still, a very big important part of the women's division, of course being the women's world champion currently. But right there at that moment though, her winning that women's championship, incredible. And it was incredible to be there for a cash in, man. It's a different type of pop, man. So next up, I got number 9. I got Liv Morgan cashing in Money in the Bank 2022. She cashed in on Ronda Rousey. She won the briefcase that night, and I was so happy for Liv Morgan, man, because for so long she's kind of just been there, just been floating. She's been a part of team. She's had times where she wasn't even on TV. Of course, now she's the cornerstone of the women's division right now. She's killing it. She's killing it. But at this point, to cash in on somebody at the level of a Ronda Rousey, a successful cash in on Ronda Rousey, man, it was such an emotional moment. Like, you can feel that emotion that Liv Morgan had in that moment. And I'm pretty sure all of us were just happy for Liv to finally get a moment that she deserves. She literally did everything right in the process. She came up through NXT. She found herself. She had some missteps. She came back. Her friends got let go. It was a lot. It was a lot, but this was such a great all-around moment for Liv. So I got that at number 9. Her cashing in on Ronda Rousey. So number 8 on my list. Number 8 on my list, man. I got Big E cashing in on Monday Night Raw. This was back in 2021 when he cashed in on Bobby Lashley. I actually went back and watched it the other night, and I'm like, man, Lashley kind of had a little smirk on his face. Lashley was kind of happy for Big E, you can tell. But man, this was such a great moment for Big E, man. Talk about somebody that deserves it. Big E has always had every element to be a world champion, a big-time player in the WWE. He has the charisma, he has the size, he has the presence. Everything about him screamed champion, and he deserved this, man. Unfortunately, not too long after this, after he lost the championship, Big E's career, came to a halt. And it's still to this day unsure. I'm uncertain if he'll ever get back into that ring, man. But all in all, I'm glad he was able to have this moment. This was also great to see just on a episode of Monday Night Raw. So I got that one at number 8. Number 7, I got Sheamus cashing in at Survivor Series 2015. So this was coming up 10 years on this, man. It's crazy that this was a decade ago, but I remember this time Seth had just gotten injured. So we didn't have a WWE champion. They had the whole tournament. Came down to Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. Roman won it. And at that point, fans were still kind of on the fence of Roman Reigns a little bit. WWE clearly was going to make him the guy. And Survivor Series, it seemed like it was happening until Sheamus cashed in. You got the confetti still falling. Like, oh my God, come on, man. Like, Sheamus cashing in on Roman, man, like, it threw everybody off, because thinking, okay, Roman is Vince's guy, swerved everybody. Sheamus just cashed in, won the championship, man. Sheamus is that guy, man. But yeah, I had that at number 7. So number 6 on my list, I've got CM Punk cashing in on Jeff Hardy at Extreme Rules 2009. Now, CM Punk has won 2 Money in the Banks. 2 Money in the Banks. And something tells me it's not going to be the last one from CM Punk on my list, but Extreme Rules 2009. So it was Edge versus Jeff Hardy at this event. Jeff won the world championship, man. Jeff is somebody, man, listen, if you were able to grow up at that time, that era of the Hardy Boys, it was something special. Fans today don't realize how special it was. I mean, the Hardy's still going strong, but it was something different about that time, especially when Jeff was going after the WWE title. But it was just as special him going after the world championship. And just when you thought Jeff got it, he did it, CM Punk comes down. Money in the Bank, boy, that was the start of the villain arc for CM Punk, man. That was for sure the start of the villain arc for CM Punk. Punk cashed in on Jeff Hardy. Actually, this is actually higher on my list now that I'm thinking about it. No, it's not. Yeah, I still got this at number 6. So this was the start of CM Punk's villain journey, but he cashed in on Jeff Hardy. I kind of got confused for a minute. I'm not editing that out either. Cashed in on Jeff Hardy, man. Of course, this led to a summer feud between CM Punk and Jeff Hardy and an eventual CM Punk heel turn, which led to The Undertaker coming back. Punk as world champion in 2009, the summer of 2009, it carried SmackDown that summer. Punk was great, man. You know, of course, that was the last time we saw Jeff Hardy in the WWE for some years as well, man. But wait for CM Punk to spoil such a good feel moment. You kind of gotta love it. Extreme Rules 2009. So number 5 on my list, I got Dean Ambrose cashing in at Money in the Bank 2016. This was the first time in history, and I believe this is what ever happened, where a faction, or at one point, this was a faction, of course, I'm referring to the Shield, when all 3 members held the championship in one night, from Roman Reigns to Seth Rollins to Dean Ambrose. This was so cool to see in that interaction, and Dean finally getting his world championship. Dean, I always felt like, was always forgotten of the Shield. It was always about Roman or Seth, but Dean to come in with that briefcase, win the championship, you know, the Shield Triple Crown moment, incredible, man. And of course, Dean ended up taking that title, and we got that great era of SmackDown that summer of 2016. That was a great time. But yeah, Dean Ambrose cashing in Money in the Bank in 2016 is number 5 on my list. So number 4, I got this other CM Punk moment. CM Punk cashing in on Monday Night Raw. I believe this was the night after Night of Champions 2008, where he cashed in on Edge, who just defeated Batista the night before. And the stipulation was, if Batista lost to Edge at Night of Champions, he would never get another shot at that championship again as long as Edge is the champion. Edge came out, what I remember on that Raw was June 30th, 2008, I want to say. Edge came out, you know, he's bragging. Batista just comes out, spine buster, Batista bomb, beats the hell out of Edge. Then CM Punk just runs out, runs right past Batista. Man, that was such a great moment. CM Punk, this was actually his first ever Money in the Bank briefcase holding. He won it in 2008 and 2009. This was in 2008, of course. Cashed in on Edge, GTS. It was such a great moment. CM Punk, a guy who started out in ECW, beating Edge and becoming world champion. He then went on to, of course, feud with guys like Batista, JBL. You know, he had a little run as world champion there. I mean, he didn't hold it as long, but the moment nonetheless was still great to see. All right, so now we're in the top 3. So number 3, I got Dolph Ziggler, the Raw after WrestleMania 29. So this right here, when I think of Raw after Mania, I think of moments like Brock Lesnar coming back after WrestleMania 28. And I also think of this. When you talk about pops, if you had to introduce the term pop to a non-wrestling fan, show them this moment. Dolph freaking Ziggler cashing in on Alberto Del Rio. Like, I feel like I could make a whole video about this. I feel like for so long, especially at that time, a WWE, 2012, 2013 was a rough time. The product was very hard to watch. Just for me personally, it was a little too PG. It was too safe. We had, I mean, I don't want to like crap on it too much, but it was a hard watch. But there was some silver linings in that. And the two guys I always thought about, Cody Rhodes and Dolph Ziggler. And I'm talking Cody Rhodes after he held the white strap Intercontinental Championship. I thought Rhodes was on his way to being a world champion, but Dolph Ziggler and him holding that briefcase for so long, man, I'm like, man, he's got to cash in. He's got to cash in. I couldn't wait for Ziggler to have a world heavyweight championship run. And when he cashed in and won it, that pop was incredible. Now, of course, injuries, you know, unfortunately, that he couldn't, this championship run couldn't meet its full potential. But it was such a great moment to see. And that pop, I still feel like is one of the biggest pops to this day. Honestly, man, like Ziggler winning Money in the Bank or winning the World Heavyweight Championship from cashing the Money in the Bank on Del Rio. Incredible, dog. Freaking incredible, man. Number 2, I got Edge cashing in New Year's Revolution 2006, cashed in on John Cena. So this was the first ever Money in the Bank cash in. Of course, at this time, we didn't really know how it worked. I remember I used to think of, you know, Edge had this briefcase for some time, and I was like, okay, they said he can cash in for a championship match, you know, anytime, anywhere he wants. And I'm thinking, okay, it's just going to be one of those, he says he wants to cash it in, they schedule a match. I didn't know it was going to be impromptu as far as like he can just do it right then and there following a match. So I remember Cena won the Chamber. Vince comes out. There's one more match to happen here tonight. Raise the cage. Edge comes out with Lita, hands Vince the briefcase. Edge, listen, the rated R superstar was born that night. The ultimate opportunist was born that night, man. As big of a Cena guy that I am, man, Edge winning that championship, like it was, that took Edge to the next level. Edge came in a part of a tag team. He broke off, had a great mid-card run. He won Money in the Bank. He elevated to that main event level. Edge had the ideal WWE career. Even though he lost the championship 3 weeks later, he eventually won it back. Lost it again, but Edge has always been solidified after this moment. This feud ended up also becoming one of John Cena's best feuds ever. Up there with the likes of JBL and Randy Orton. Like, Edge and Cena, come on, man. This was the birth of that. But yeah, I got Edge cashing in New Year's Revolution 2006. And number 1, pretty sure you can guess this one. I got the heist of the century, WrestleMania 31. Seth Rollins cashes in on Brock Lesnar during his match with Roman Reigns. So I remember this time, I'm like, okay, Roman's for sure dethroning Brock. It's Roman's time. He's clearly that guy. 10 years after Cena became the guy, Roman's going to become the guy at this WrestleMania. Everything is there. The crowd still wasn't feeling it. But man, I wasn't expecting Seth to cash in, especially considering Seth lost his match earlier that night. But for him to still come out during this, run down that long ramp and win the championship, running back up the ramp, man, the fireworks going off, man. And to do it at WrestleMania for so long, so many people always talked about, I'm going to cash in at WrestleMania, cash in at Mania. Rollins did it. That is for sure the greatest Money in the Bank cash in ever. Of course, you know, Damian Priest ended up doing it at Mania, but this right here, this was before all that. Rollins was the first one to cash in Money in the Bank at WrestleMania on the grand stage to close out the show. Fireworks in the background, a title above his head. Listen, he stole the title, the heist of the freaking century, man. That one is going to live in the history of WWE forever, man. Seth Rollins cashing in Money in the Bank at WrestleMania 31 is my number 1 cash in of all time, man. So let me know what you think about it, man. You know, of course, Money in the Bank is this weekend. I got LA Knight winning it for the guys and Roxanne Perez winning it for the women. So let me know what you think about it, man. If you are new to the channel and want more wrestling and content, hit that subscribe button for me. It's MKE MANIACI. I'm out.